We've had some requests as to when to use which PVA application. In this case we've got a mesh bag, then we've got a solid PVA bag, and then we've got the stringer method. To start off with, we're going to start with a mesh bag, and for this we will be using the mesh funnel. In the mesh funnel you'll see a plunger which we're going to use to compress the bait a bit later. We're just going to add a few spoons of pellet into the funnel, and we're now going to use the plunger to compact the content on the inside. We're now going to remove the plunger. We're going to twist the PVA, try and twist it as close as possible to the pellet, and then we're just going to use a simple overhand knot to tie off the PVA. We're then just going to use another knot, overhand knot again, just to tie off the PVA, and I'll show you guys just now exactly why is that. Now with the two knots close together, we're going to take a scissor, cut it in the middle, and now your PVA is knotted for your next load. You'll see why we normally try to use a pop-up with this presentation, because the mesh bag and the pop-up work hand in hand. If this had to be a solid PVA bag, the bag would have floated right to the top of the water and it might have missed your pop-up presentation. In the following presentation we're going to show you guys a PVA solid bag, how to load the contents. So we've got the small PVA bag, our medium PVA bag, and then our large PVA bag. Normally the small and the medium is ideal for casting. I'm going to start off with opening up our PVA bag, put the rig in the PVA bag, move the hook to the bottom and hold the weight in the one hand. We're now just going to start filling up the PVA bag by first covering the hook and the hook bait. I'm now just going to compress the pellet with the weight of the lead. And we're going to hold the lead again and then start filling up the bag again. And remember guys, we're not going to fill the bag right to the top. We need to leave some space to tie off the PVA bag at the end. Just going to compact the pellet again, move the lead to the middle of the bag, and now start filling up the bag again until only the tail rubber is visible. We are now going to tie off the bag using PVA tape. You can give it a good few turns, nice and secure, until you're happy with it, and then just cut off the PVA tape and then start tying the two parts together using a simple overhand knot. And now we're just going to cut off the excess PVA of the bag. Just be sure not to cut your leader or your lead core. For the people that's going to do a lot of casting, we suggest to just fold over the edges. Just start by tapping the edges just to compact the pellet. Lick your thumb, swipe the corner, press it down firmly. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side, licking your thumb, wipe the corner and then press it down firmly. And there you go, your bag is ready for casting. With the PVA hitting the water, you're going to see exactly how the PVA dissolves in the water, presenting your hook bait nicely in the middle of the pile. Next up is our stringer method, typically using boilie with this. You can't use wet baits, it will dissolve the PVA tape. We're going to start off by cutting 20 centimeters of PVA tape, and then we're going to start loading the boilie onto the PVA tape. In this case we're going to use a splicing needle to do that. Also welcome to use a longer needle if you've got one. where you'll be able to add more boilies on the needle to load the PVA tape a bit faster. If it's for casting, we would recommend 2 or 3 boilies only on the PVA tape, just for maximum accuracy and distance that you'll have. Otherwise, the heavier you make your rig, the more difficult it is going to be to cast the rig out. And also the reason why we use PVA tape and not PVA string is that it is much stronger. You'll be able to, when you do casting, we're now just going to knot off the 2 ends of the PVA tape. In this case, I'm going to be doing 3 turns. We're now going to tie the stringer onto the hook. And there we have it, a perfectly presented stringer. You'll notice that the boilies move ever so slightly. Reason for that is because they're so close together with the PVA tape. It takes quite a bit of time for the PVA tape to dissolve, and once they have dissolved, they will be presented right close to your hook bait.